Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please do subscribe down below. My name is Adeola. I upload videos about Africa, the black community and growing as a whole. So if you're interested in videos on those topics, please do subscribe down below and join our community. So today's video is going to be another facts about an African countries video. It's been a while since I've done one of these ones, but we are going to be digging into Ethiopia today. Now I won't lie, I've been kind of putting this video off a little bit. That's why I've been a bit MIA, and it's just because I knew this video was going to be so long, but it's worth it. Why? Because the country has so much history, so much culture, so much, just everything, that I just feel like I need to share it, and we need to keep this series going. So let's get into Ethiopia. So often at times this country is kind of painted with the whole famine, kind of war-torn brush, which is very unfair, because as I'll get into in this video, human life started in Ethiopia. So many discoveries, so many creations like coffee, tea, this country, and we don't recognize that in our day-to-day lives. We don't recognize how influential Ethiopia has been in the whole world. So let's just get into it. Ethiopia is an East African country that's located on the Horn of Africa. Its neighboring countries are Djibouti, Eritrea, Kenya, Somalia, Sudan, and South Sudan. The capital of the country is Addis Ababa. The currency in Ethiopia is the Ethiopian birr. It's said that the name Ethiopia actually comes from the Greek words etho and ops, which means burnt faces, which was used to refer to black people. However, this wasn't actually the original name of the country. The country's original name was Abyssinia, which, do you know what? I like Abyssinia a lot more. I don't know why they changed it actually, but yeah, the country's original name was Abyssinia. So Ethiopia is actually the most populous landlocked country in Africa. The Ethiopian highlands are the largest mountain ranges in Africa. Now, before I get into the country, and I know I said that not all of the country is painted with a war-torn brush, but I think it's very important to highlight the Tigran Crisis, because it's still going on right now in the Tigray region in Ethiopia. So I did mention this in my Eritrea video. I touched a little bit on that, and I will just play what I said in the next clip, and I will just explain a little bit more about why this is so important. Before we get into more facts about the country, I do want to talk about the Tigray conflict that's going on. And I know that this conflict is predominantly, it is in the Tigray region in Ethiopia, but this region borders Eritrea, and Eritrean soldiers have been recorded to go into the Tigray region as well to fight. So what is the Tigray conflict? I'm not too versed in this, and I don't want to speak on things I don't know too much, so I'll just give you the information that I know, and obviously there's a lot more, and I will link some articles that you can read down below. And also please do leave in the comment section below any information you have about this, and we can all learn together. So from my understanding, the Tigray conflict began when Abiy Ahmed came into power in Ethiopia, and he actually began by uniting the country and won a Nobel Peace Prize for creating peace with Eritrea and also uniting his country. But the problems arose when the TPLF, the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front, who represented the Tigray people, which make up about 6% of Ethiopia's population, but they had dominant power, political power, before Abiy Ahmed, and he dissolved the political parties before him and created a new coalition. He created the Prosperity Party, which the TPLF refused to partake in, and then Ethiopia postponed their elections due to the coronavirus situation, but the TPLF and the Tigrayan government decided to go ahead and have their own informal elections. This was an obvious defiance of the president's authority, and this is where the conflict really arose from. Abiy Ahmed said the country is in a state of emergency, and he actually declared war on the Tigray region. This is important because it's created the worst humanitarian crisis that we've seen so far, with over 200 people have lost their lives due to this conflict, and over 600,000 people have been displaced. It's said that out of the 6 million Tigray people within this region, that 5 million are in desperate need of food aid. So they're either dying by gunfire, getting crossed in the crossfires, or they're dying by hunger. So how does Eritrea tie into this? Well, reports have said that the Eritrean government send their troops into the Tigray region to aid the Ethiopian government in attacking the TPLF. I don't want to sound one-sided. I don't have any stand in this, but I think it's important that we highlight and donate to the people, because obviously it's the civilians who are suffering the most and they are feeling this. So I will again link some reputable organizations that you can donate, and they can help the Tigray people by sending aid. So I wanted to just highlight that in this video. So the reason that I bring this up and highlight it is because it's still going on right now in the Tigray region, and it's the worst humanitarian crisis. Millions of children and adults are dying of hunger and starvation, and this isn't due to the lack of resources. This is due to them being at a crossfire, due to them being in the middle of war-torn areas. So access to food, access to clean water, access to just basic human rights are not being allowed. And also there are reports and stories of militia groups and Eritrean soldiers using rape as a torture tool on women and children. So that's why I'm highlighting this case. That's why I really want to highlight this case as it's ongoing. I will link down below some reputable charities or some reputable organizations that are working with these people, and you can choose to support them how you feel is right, whether that will be sharing on your social media, or whether that will be donating to them, whether that will be even just messaging them and saying how can I help as someone in the West and things like that. I think it's very important that we all try and do our part to highlight injustices in the world and to strive to a better and more equitable society. So back to the video. So fun fact, Ethiopia actually has a 13-month calendar, meaning that in the year 2021 we're actually in 2014. Yeah. So if you ever want that experience of feeling that you're traveling back in time, feel free to go to Ethiopia. So yeah, they are 7 years behind the Georgian calendar, which is what most of the rest of the world uses, what we use in the UK. Ethiopia has their new year on the 11th of September as well. So even their new year is different. The country is home to 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which is the second most UNESCO recognized World Heritage Sites in Africa. If you'd like to know what these UNESCO World Heritage Sites are, please do go to my blog adeafrica.com. We have a plethora of information on our website about Africa, about traveling to Africa. We also have personal blogs from my stories of traveling the continent, and also stories from fellow travelers about the different sites and attractions in the countries. And then we also have a shop which is dedicated to raising African communities sustainably. We sell handmade African pieces, and the profits of what we make goes back to the African vendors who actually create them and sell them. So if you'd like to support African communities that way too, please do feel free to purchase from our shop as well, adeafrica.com/shop, or just go to adeafrica.com and then click on the shop tab. So the country is actually home to Aksum City. So Aksum City, I believe, is part of the Aksum Empire. So the Aksum is home to the Ark of the Covenant, and the Ark of the Covenant is said to hold the 10 Commandments, which were actually given, God actually gave in the Bible to Moses. Yeah, can you believe that? So the Ark of the Covenant is actually guarded by an appointed person, and even they can't even look inside the chest to see the commandments. It's a very holy site. It holds a lot of symbolism, and if you plan to go there to take pictures, please be mindful, please be respectful. Majority of Ethiopians are actually Orthodox Christians. They are very different to other types of Christians as they hold their own set of religious practices and beliefs. One being that meat isn't eaten on Wednesdays and Fridays, and this is why a lot of Ethiopian dishes are actually very vegetarian and vegan friendly. Now Ethiopia is actually home to teff, which is the national grain, and it's also the smallest grain in the world. It's what's used to make their national dish, injera, which if you haven't tried, you need to try injera right now. It's like a sourdough type of bread, which they serve quite flat on a platter, on a plate platter type of thing, and then they have like different sauces on it, and you can have meat options as well, and it's just amazing. So Rastafarianism was actually born in Ethiopia, though the religion was created in Jamaica. It was actually heavily inspired by Haile Selassie, which was Ethiopia's former president, even though he himself said that he is not God, or he is not someone to be worshipped. So Lake Tana is the largest lake in Ethiopia, and it's actually the source of water for the River Nile, which is the longest river in Africa. So this country is actually Africa's oldest and most independent African country, and technically is said to be never colonized. Though they were occupied by the Italians for quite some time, they were never officially recognized as colonized, as the whole country didn't go under Italian rule, as there were many ethnic groups that would often fight against the Italians. But as history would tell you, that the Ethiopians did settle with the Italians at one point and gave them a piece of their land, which we now know as Eritrea, and Eritrea actually gained independence from Ethiopia, as it was an Italian protectorate, and then the Italians returned it back to Ethiopia, and then they gave the independence. It's all very complicated. We won't get into it too much into this video, but if you would like to search up the history of the two countries and the history of just Ethiopia in general, because it's very interesting, I will leave links down below, and they will do a better job of explaining the dynamic between the two countries and Ethiopia in terms of its freedom as a country. The country is an archaeological wonder. So as I've mentioned quite a few times now, human life began in Ethiopia. So now, what do I mean by this? Well, so in the Afar region, skeletal remains of a Homo sapien animal was found, and they named her Lucy. Lucy is the remains of what is believed that humans have derived from, so our evolutionary great grandparent basically, and she is over, get this, over 3.2 million years old. Yes, Lucy is over 3.2 million years old. And if you don't believe that, well, they found some more. They also found Artie. He is said to be over 4.4 million years old. 4.4 million years old, okay? Just human life began in Ethiopia, just believe it now. Addis Ababa, the country's capital, is actually home to the African Union, and it's the world's 4th highest capital city. So, fun fact, Addis Ababa actually means new flower in the language Amharic, which is the country's official language. The country is so diverse in its people, with over 80 different ethnic groups living in the country and over 200 different dialects being spoken. Timbat is the big festival of baptism, where Jesus is celebrated, and people, Ethiopians, often go to the nearest river and they all have a communal baptism ceremony. So multiple baptisms are given, and it's a very spiritual environment to be around, very moving. Ethiopia is home to Abebe Bikila, which is the first black African to win a gold medal in the Olympics in 1960. And get this, not only did he win a gold medal in the Olympics, my guy did it barefoot, yeah? Put some respect on his name, please. And then 4 years later in Tokyo, he went on to do it again. So they are home to multiple talents. There was also Dera Tutula, who the first black African female to also win Olympic medals. So coffee was actually discovered in Ethiopia, and they are the largest producers of coffee in Africa. So Ethiopia is actually known as the roof of Africa because over 70% of Africa's mountains can be found in Ethiopia alone. Wow. Though it isn't home to the big ones like Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, Mount Nimba, it's still home to many mountains. So Ethiopia is the only African country that's left that has its own alphabet that it still incorporates and uses. So this ancient alphabet is still in script and it's still used today in the country. So Ethiopian clocks, we've talked about the year, we've talked about the time. Now let's talk about the time again. Ethiopian clocks actually only start when the sun rises. So how we would usually have midnight at night, and then it goes 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 until maybe 6 a.m. when the sun actually rises. No, in Ethiopia, when the sun rises, that's 1, and then the day starts like that. Do you know what? I kind of think that makes better sense. I kind of get where they're going with this, because back in the days, people, nomads used to use the sun as their deciding factor of time. So it kind of does make sense to go with the natural course of the sunlight, sundown. But hey, so Ethiopia is home to the Dankil Depression, which I've actually talked about. I believe it was in my Eritrea video or my Djibouti video, whichever one it was. I'll find out and leave some images of it. And the Dankil Depression is just a wonder. It's a natural wonder to me of the world, and it's actually the hottest place on earth. There's molten, there's lava lakes, there's lava volcanoes there. It's dangerous, but a lot of people go, and it's just something you'll only see once in a lifetime, really. So Ethiopia is actually home to the largest lava lake in Africa, and this is called Erta, which is locally also known as the gateway to hell. I mean, I want to go to the gateway of hell, please. Blue lava, fun fact, can also be found here. So now I'm a bit indecisive. Maybe I do want to go and see the blue lava, but then again, hell, do I want to really be going near hell? I don't know. So Ethiopia is home to the biggest dam in Africa, and this is called EGRD. The national animal of Ethiopia is actually actually the lion. So Ethiopia is home to a lot of tradition and culture, as I've mentioned before, and they have their own traditional hair flipping dances. Yes, they do. It's amazing. I've seen it. This is usually by the Amhara group. It's something that I won't even lie, I have no shame in it. I've been trying it in my bedroom. Yes, one day I'm gonna, yeah, you'll see me very soon at an Ethiopian party wedding. Very soon I'm gonna have it down, because it just looks like gorgeous and such a unique way to dance as well. It's very entrancing. Ethiopia is actually home to one of the very few black Jewish populations in the world, actually. So though Judaism is the third largest religion in the country is home to one of the largest groups of black Jews. The country is said to have actually been founded in 980 BC, and they are the first country to have accepted Islam in the world. I touched on Rastafarianism before. Ethiopia is also the birthplace of Pan-Africanism and the Pan-African movement, which is all about reconnecting the diaspora back to the continent. So Ethiopia actually is home to the town called Harar, and in Harar you can actually literally feed hyenas. They will come to you like dogs and you can feed them. So if you're looking for an adventure, Harar, the Dankil Depression, and so much more, that's on my website adeafrica.com. Please be sure to check it out. Go to Ethiopia, you can see what the country has to offer, what the different attractions are, the different cultures, religious practices, more tips on going there, and so much more information. So if you'd like to visit Ethiopia or you'd like to know more about the country, please do go check out my website adeafrica.com. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.